Hey everybody, welcome to Saving America's Pets. I'm Holly Sizemore, Chief Mission Officer for Best Friends Animal Society, and this is BG, my co-host. She says, hit like and subscribe. Today, we are going to be talking about holding on to positive progress during times of disaster. The tragic loss of lives to COVID-19 and the heroic efforts of frontline workers will never be forgotten. We can help honor the legacies by ensuring that we hold on to any and all silver linings. And one of those silver linings is that the number of animals dying inside U.S. shelters is down by more than 60%, according to a Pet Point COVID-19 shelter report. Sadly, though, cat intake is beginning to climb, and we find ourselves at risk of going back to the status quo for cats in shelters, which can be dire and is largely preventable, especially when people like you reach out to your elected officials and advocate for progressive animal sheltering programs like community cat programs. Did you know for every dog killed in U.S. shelters, 2 cats are killed? And yet we know how to save their lives. Interesting fact, shelters that engage with Best Friends on a variety of cat partnerships and programs are saving cat lives at more than 11 times the national average. And one such shelter is the Harris County Shelter in Texas. Our special guest today is Director of the Harris County Veterinary Public Health Division, which oversees the shelter. Dr. Michael White has over 30 years experience in veterinary medicine and over 13 years of experience in veterinary public health. Welcome, Dr. White.
It's great to see you again. I know the last time that you and I were together was sadly another disaster, Hurricane Harvey, where we were in the NRG arena setting up hundreds of kennels and cages for the displaced animals. And we at Best Friends have been partnering with you ever since, and it's been a pleasure. So I'm sorry that it's another disaster that brings you and I together again, but welcome. And thank you for everything you're doing during this time.
Good to see you again.
So I wanted to ask you, tell us a little bit about what it was like at Harris County before Best Friends and Harris County started to partner.
Well, to put it bluntly, I kind of felt like we were alone. It seemed like we were out there by ourselves, struggling, just to try to save animals. And although it was a tragic thing when Harvey hit, but it did bring a lot of people together. It let the community know that really realized that there was an animal welfare issue.
Yeah, that really does talk to the silver linings. What do you see are some of the similar silver linings with COVID as with Harvey, or has it been really fundamentally very different?
No, we're seeing a very similar outreach from the community. I'm so appreciative of the rescue groups that are continuing to help us, because it's really hard with all the social distancing that's required, and we've had to cut our staff in half into 2 different teams, so we're only half the people here at a time, and we've had to make everything done by appointment, but they've really stuck with us, and the community has come forward to help foster animals, to get them out of the shelter. It's really been amazing, and we're seeing that same type of response from the community that we saw in Harvey.
And so what is it that the community is doing to help you besides fostering? I know that's a big critical piece, but what else can the community do to help right now?
It's amazing, people just reaching out to see what they can do, asking how can I help, come in and volunteer to help clean cages, whatever. And I am really amazed at how well people, how they respond to such a disaster like this. And there's so many people who just love animals. Back in 2012, we only had about a 15.5% live release rate. And so far this year, we've been in the mid-90s.
Wow.
So it's come a long way, and a lot of that is because of the partnerships that we've established with Best Friends and some others.
That is fantastic to hear. And I know one of the programs that seems to have really helped with a lot of life saving is the Community Cat Program. Tell us a little bit more about that and how the community has embraced that program.
The first month that we did that, we saw a significant increase in live release rates of cats. Yes, I have to admit that a few years ago, I was not in favor of Community Cat or TNR program, but since I had no really good outcome for cats in my facility, I started looking into this more and decided I would give it a try. And with Best Friends Help, we were able to do some pilot programs. And we did establish that the community accepted it very well. But I really thought we'd get a lot of complaints, but we didn't. And most people are very, very in favor of it. A lot of people believe that it's just stray feral cats, but it's not. Most of the cats that we see coming in, that we put in our program here, at least coming into the shelter, they're own cats. They're just free roaming.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of people, they don't really think much about it if their cat's missing for 2 or 3 days.
Exactly.
You know, they figure, well, they'll come back. But by the time they're in the shelter for 3 days and there's no outcome, you end up being euthanized. We were killing probably 50% of the cats that came in. Even within that first month, our live release in cats exceeded 90%, even the first month. And it stayed above 90% the whole time.
Fantastic.
So far this year, January through March, we've had a 97.4% live release of cats.
That is terrific. Congratulations. And for you at home,
Dr. White is an example of various shelters all across the country. So even if you don't live in the Houston area, please reach out to your shelter and ask them, how can you help them at this time? If you would like to find out how your shelters are doing in your community, visit our Community Life-Saving Dashboard. We'll leave the link in the description. It's a great place where you can not only see your shelter's save rates, you can also learn about what they do and how you can help them save more lives.
well, we appreciate you. We are so proud to be partnering with you and all of the other wonderful organizations in the Houston metro area, as well as the community. So thanks, Dr. White.
Thank you.
Many community cat programs get started as a result of individual citizens advocating for such programs with their elected officials. You have the power to make change in your community. So we've left a link in the description that can help you advocate for such programs with your city council, mayor, or other elected officials. Because together, we can save them all.